If you clicked on this video, you probably know what it feels like to live in a world that's constantly pulling your attention in 1,000 different directions. Maybe you've tried to sit down and study or work on a project that matters to you, but within minutes, your mind is wandering, your phone buzzes, a notification pops up, and suddenly you're scrolling through social media, watching videos, or lost in a sea of endless tabs. You look up and an hour has vanished. You wonder, why can't I just focus? Why does it feel impossible to concentrate, even on things I care about? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. In fact, you're living through the greatest attention crisis in human history. Let's be honest, the world is not designed for your focus. It's designed for your distraction. Every app, every website, every notification is engineered to hijack your attention, to keep you clicking, scrolling, and consuming. The average person checks their phone over 100 times a day. The average attention span has dropped from 12 seconds to just 8 seconds, less than a goldfish. And it's not just you, it's everyone. But here's the truth that nobody tells you. Focus is not a talent you're born with or without. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained, strengthened, and made unbreakable, even in a world that's trying to break it. But before we talk about how to build unbreakable focus, let's talk about what's really at stake. Because this isn't just about getting your homework done or finishing a work project. This is about your life, your dreams, your potential. Every great achievement in history, every invention, every masterpiece, every breakthrough was built on the foundation of deep, sustained focus. The ability to direct your attention, to block out noise, to immerse yourself in what matters. That's the superpower of our age. And the people who master it will shape the future. The people who don't will be shaped by it. So, let me ask you, what would your life look like if you could focus at will? If you could sit down and work for an hour, 2 hours, even 3 hours without your mind drifting, without the urge to check your phone, without feeling restless or bored? What could you achieve? What could you build? Who could you become? Most people never find out. They spend their days in a fog of distraction, always busy, always tired, but never really moving forward. But you're here because you want more. You want to break free from the noise. You want to reclaim your mind, and you can. But first, let's get real about the enemy we're facing, because the enemy isn't just your phone or your laptop or the endless stream of notifications. The real enemy is deeper. It's the way your brain has been rewired by years of instant gratification. Every time you check your phone, every time you switch tasks, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine, the chemical of pleasure and reward. Over time, your brain learns to crave novelty, to seek out the next hit, the next distraction. It becomes harder and harder to sit with boredom, to push through discomfort, to focus on one thing for more than a few minutes. This isn't a personal failing, it's biology. But biology can be hacked, and that's what we're going to do. I want to tell you a story. Not about a genius or a monk, but about someone just like you. His name is Alex. 2 years ago, Alex was a university student with big dreams. He wanted to become a software engineer, to build something meaningful, to make his family proud. But every time he tried to study, he found himself lost in distractions. He'd open his laptop to work on an assignment, but within minutes, he was watching videos, checking messages, scrolling through memes. He felt frustrated, ashamed, and stuck. He tried all the usual advice, turning off notifications, using productivity apps, even locking his phone in another room. Nothing worked for long. The distractions always found a way back in. One night, after another wasted evening, Alex sat on his bed and asked himself a question that changed everything. What if the problem isn't the world? What if the problem is how I'm training my mind? That question led him on a journey to understand how focus really works and how to rebuild it from the ground up. What he discovered wasn't a quick fix or a magic app. It was a system built on science, ancient wisdom, and real-world practice, and it worked. Within 6 months, Alex went from barely being able to focus for 10 minutes to working in deep, uninterrupted blocks for hours at a time. His grades shot up. He landed an internship at a top tech company. But more importantly, he felt in control of his mind for the first time in years. So, what did Alex do differently? And how can you do the same? That's what this video is about. I'm going to share with you the exact system Alex used to build build unbreakable focus in a distracted world. It's not about willpower. It's not about forcing yourself to work harder. It's about understanding how your brain works and using that knowledge to your advantage. It's about building habits, routines, and environments that make focus the default, not the exception. And it's about transforming your identity from someone who's easily distracted to someone who's laser-focused, unstoppable, and unbreakable. But before we dive into the system, I want you to do something. I want you to pause for a moment and think about the one thing in your life that would change if you had unbreakable focus. Maybe it's getting into your dream university. Maybe it's starting your own business. Maybe it's writing a book, learning a language, building a relationship, or simply feeling proud of yourself at the end of the day. Whatever it is, hold that vision in your mind, because that's your why. That's your reason for fighting this battle, and you're going to need it, because building unbreakable focus isn't easy. It's a journey. There will be setbacks, relapses, days when you want to give up. But if you keep your why in front of you, if you remember what's at stake, you'll have the strength to keep going. In the next section, I'm going to break down the first pillar of the system, rewiring your brain for focus. We'll talk about the science of attention, the traps of modern technology, and the simple, powerful habits that can start to rebuild your focus from day one. If you're ready to take back control of your mind, to break free from distraction, and to build a life you're proud of, keep watching. This is where your journey begins. Let's begin with the first pillar, rewiring your brain for focus. Most people try to fight distraction with brute force. They grit their teeth, they make promises, they download apps that block websites, and for a few days, maybe even a week, it works. But then the old habits creep back in. Why? Because they're trying to change their behavior without changing their brain. If you want unbreakable focus, you have to start at the source. You have to retrain your mind to crave depth, not distraction. Here's the hard truth. Your brain is a product of what you feed it. If you spend hours every day jumping from one dopamine hit to the next, scrolling, swiping, clicking, consuming, your brain becomes addicted to novelty. It gets bored easily. It resists anything that requires effort or patience. But the good news is, your brain is also incredibly adaptable. It can be rewired. The process is called neuroplasticity, and it's the foundation of all real change. So, how do you start rewiring your brain for focus? The answer is both simple and challenging. You have to practice boredom. That's right, you have to get comfortable being bored again, because focus isn't just about blocking out distractions. It's about building your capacity to sit with discomfort, to resist the urge for instant gratification, and to immerse yourself in a single task. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Let's make this practical. For the next 7 days, I want you to try something called the Boredom Challenge. Every day, set aside 10 minutes to do absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no talking, no stimulation. Just sit with your thoughts. At first, it will feel unbearable. Your mind will race. You'll feel restless, maybe even anxious. But if you stick with it, something amazing happens. Your brain starts to slow down. The urge for constant stimulation fades. You begin to notice your own thoughts, your own ideas. You start to reclaim your attention. This is the first step to building unbreakable focus, learning to be present with yourself without needing to escape. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's powerful. Because once you can handle boredom, you can handle focus. You can sit down to study, to work, to create, and stay with it, even when it gets hard, even when it gets uncomfortable. But that's just the beginning. The next step is to take control of your environment, because willpower is overrated. The most focused people in the world don't have superhuman self-control. They have systems. They design their lives so that focus is easy and distraction is hard. Think about it. If your phone is buzzing every 5 minutes, if your workspace is cluttered, if you're surrounded by noise and chaos, of course you're going to get distracted. It's not a character flaw, it's just physics. So here's what I want you to do. Take a look at your environment. Where do you spend most of your time working or studying? Is it optimized for focus or for distraction? Start small. Clear your desk. Put your phone in another room or at least on airplane mode. Use apps that block distracting websites, but don't rely on them forever. The goal is to make your environment a sanctuary for deep work, a place where your brain knows it's time to focus. Alex, the student I told you about, made a rule for himself. Before he started any important task, he would spend 5 minutes preparing his environment. He'd close unnecessary tabs, put his phone away, clear his desk, and set a timer for focused work. It sounds simple, but it made a huge difference because every time he did it, he was sending a signal to his brain. This is focus time. This is important. Over time, his brain learned to switch into deep work mode almost automatically. But even with the perfect environment, you'll still face internal resistance. Your mind will wander. You'll feel the urge to check your phone, to get up, to do anything but the task at hand. This is normal. The key is not to fight these urges, but to notice them. When you feel distracted, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, what am I trying to escape right now? Is it boredom, anxiety, fear of failure? The more you become aware of your triggers, the more power you have to choose your response. This is where mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness isn't just about meditation or sitting cross-legged on a cushion. It's about paying attention on purpose to what's happening in your mind and body. When you practice mindfulness, you become the observer of your thoughts, not their slave. You notice when your attention drifts and you gently bring it back. You notice when you're tempted by distraction and you choose to stay with your task. Over time, this builds mental muscle. It makes focus easier, more natural, more automatic. Let's talk about routines. The most focused people in the world don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits. They have routines that signal to their brain it's time to focus. For Alex, it was a simple ritual: making a cup of tea, clearing his desk, setting a timer, and starting with the hardest task first. For you, it might be something different. The key is consistency. The more you repeat your routine, the stronger the association becomes. Eventually, your brain will crave the feeling of deep work, just like it used to crave distraction. But what about setbacks? What about those days when nothing seems to work? When you fall back into old habits? When you feel like you're making no progress? Here's the truth. Setbacks are part of the process. Nobody builds unbreakable focus overnight. There will be days when you get distracted, when you waste time, when you feel like giving up. That's okay. The key is to notice, forgive yourself, and start again. Every time you bring your attention back, you're strengthening your focus muscle. Every time you choose presence over distraction, you're rewiring your brain. Contrast this with the old way of living: constantly reacting, constantly distracted, always feeling behind. That's not who you are anymore. You're building something different. You're building a mind that can cut through the noise, that can stay with what matters, that can create, achieve, and grow. That's rare, that's powerful, and it's possible for you. In the next section, we'll dive into the second pillar, the power of deep work. You'll learn how to structure your time, how to enter flow states, and how to make focus your default mode, even in a world that's trying to steal your attention. If you're ready to take your focus to the next level, keep watching. The journey continues here. Now that you've started to rewire your brain and shape your environment for focus, it's time to unlock the second pillar, the power of deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's where your best ideas are born, where your skills are sharpened, and where real progress happens. In a distracted world, deep work is your competitive edge. But how do you actually achieve it? How do you enter that elusive state of flow, where hours pass like minutes and you're fully immersed in what you're doing? Let's start with a simple truth. Deep work doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. You have to create the conditions for it, protect it, and practice it like any other skill. The first step is to schedule it. Most people try to fit deep work into the cracks of their day, between meetings, messages, and errands. But deep work requires uninterrupted time. It needs space to breathe. So look at your calendar and block out at least 1 hour a day for focused, undistracted work. Treat it like an appointment with your future self. Defend it fiercely. Alex, our student, started with just 30 minutes a day. He'd set a timer, close all distractions, and dive into his most important task. At first, it was hard. His mind wandered. He felt restless, but he stuck with it. Over time, he increased his deep work blocks to an hour, then 2. The results were dramatic. He finished assignments in half the time. He learned new skills faster. He felt a sense of pride and momentum that carried over into every area of his life. But deep work isn't just about time, it's about intensity. When you sit down to work, give it your full attention. No multitasking, no background noise, no checking your phone just for a second. Every time you switch tasks, you lose focus. It takes your brain up to 20 minutes to fully re-engage, so protect your attention like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Here's a powerful technique, the focus sprint. Set a timer for 25 minutes and work on a single task with full intensity. When the timer goes off, take a 5-minute break, stand up, stretch, get some fresh air. Then repeat. This method, known as the Pomodoro technique, trains your brain to work in focused bursts followed by rest. It's simple, but incredibly effective. Over time, you'll find that your ability to concentrate grows stronger, your work gets deeper, and your results improve. But what about flow? The state where you're so absorbed in your work that everything else fades away. Flow isn't something you can force, but you can invite it. Flow happens when you're working on something challenging but not overwhelming, when you have clear goals, immediate feedback, and a sense of progress. To enter flow, choose tasks that stretch your abilities but are within your reach. Set a clear intention for what you want to accomplish. Eliminate all distractions, and most importantly, give yourself permission to get lost in the work. Contrast this with the shallow work that fills most people's days. Answering emails, scrolling through feeds, jumping from task to task. Shallow work keeps you busy, but it doesn't move you forward. Deep work, on the other hand, is where you create value, where you grow, where you build the life you want. The more time you spend in deep work, the more unbreakable your focus becomes. But let's be real. Even with the best systems, you'll still face temptation. The world will still try to pull you away from what matters. That's why the third pillar is so important: identity. You have to see yourself as someone who is focused, disciplined, and capable. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Every time you choose deep work over distraction, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. Alex didn't become a focus machine overnight. He stumbled. He relapsed. There were days when he wasted hours on distractions, but he didn't give up. He remembered his why, the vision of who he wanted to be and what he wanted to achieve. He forgave himself for setbacks, learned from them, and started again. Over time, his identity shifted. He stopped seeing himself as someone who was easily distracted and started seeing himself as someone who could focus, create, and achieve. You can do the same. Start small. Celebrate every victory, no matter how minor. Did you focus for 20 minutes without checking your phone? That's a win. Did you finish a task without multitasking? That's a win. Did you notice when you got distracted and gently bring your attention back to the task? That's a win. These small wins add up. They build momentum. They transform your identity. And here's the most powerful part. When you build unbreakable focus, you don't just change your productivity, you change your life. You become more present in your relationships. You enjoy your hobbies more deeply. You feel a sense of control, confidence, and pride that spills over into everything you do. You become the kind of person who can achieve what you set out to do, not because you're superhuman, but because you've trained your mind to work for you, not against you. So, as we wrap up, let's recap the journey. You've learned that focus is a skill, not a gift. You've discovered how to rewire your brain by practicing boredom and mindfulness. You've learned to shape your environment and build routines that make focus automatic. You've unlocked the power of deep work, and you've started to shift your identity from distracted to disciplined. This isn't a one-time fix, it's a lifelong practice, but every day you choose focus, you're building a future that's yours to shape. Now, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 14 days, commit to one deep work session every day. It can be 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour. whatever you can manage. Protect that time. Make it sacred. Notice how your mind resists, how distractions call to you, how old habits try to pull you back. And every time you bring your attention back to the task, remember, you're not just working, you're training. You're building unbreakable focus, one session at a time. If you found value in this video, share it with someone who needs it. Comment below with your biggest distraction and the one thing you'll do to reclaim your focus. Subscribe for more videos like this. And remember, in a world designed to steal your attention, your focus is your superpower. Use it wisely, build it daily, and watch as your life transforms, one focused moment at a time.